Welcome to the Summers Woodworking Show. It's Season 3, Episode 26. And tonight we're supposed to talk about puzzled cutting boards, but since nobody got any done, my co-host Shannon, which isn't here, I know he got one done, but can't show you what we don't have. So tonight's topic's going to be X-carving. I finally got my X-Carve done, tested it out this morning, and it works perfectly. So,
sorry. I was going to say my participation in the show will be questions because I haven't gotten mine yet, and I think by me asking, we might can inform other people.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting. Sorry.
Anyway, let's get on with the roll call. I'm Brian Gidney. I'm your host. I got a channel called Summers Woodworking, and I'll put the links in the description bar after the show. And on the screen right now is Charles. He goes by a YouTube channel called Charles Daring Scroll. And yep. I'll put his link down below. And then, then next we have David Gunn. He's at DLG Woodworks, and I'll put his link in the description bar. And next we have Tommy G over at, Tommy Gonzalez over at Tommy G Workshop, and I'll put his link in the description bar. So, XCARVE. Since you've got most experience about it, Tommy, tell me your experiences. What would you do differently, and what are you planning to do as an upgrade?
Well, first and foremost, if you haven't got an X-Carve yet, read and watch all the videos before you even start putting this thing together. And keep in mind, I don't know if they've switched it up yet or not, but all the videos deal with the 500 by 500 millimeter. I made the mistake of cutting my belts to the 500 millimeter and ended up being too short and had to reorder all my belts. So just read through the whole thing. There's annotations for the 1000 millimeters, and there's separate instructions and stuff like that. So just go over the whole thing. But I mean, building the X-Carve was a lot of fun and a good learning experience for me. I didn't have any experience before I got this one, and I've learned a lot just in a short time. So
that's cool. Yeah, the biggest thing I had problems with is getting the G-shield mounted up to the other board, and those pins that you're supposed to crimp onto your limit switches. I had a little problem getting those inside that little black board. And not to mention, after I got it in the black board, that little black board wants to slide off the pins. So I don't know what I'm going to do to fix that. But I'll figure something. But it reminded me a lot of building a computer, so I like that part of it. And Steve Carmichael, if you're watching this, 6 hours. I went that alone just trying to set up the electronics.
Yeah, just recently it took me 2 weeks to figure out a problem. I was running my X-Carve off of a laptop, and come to find out that my laptop didn't have enough power going to the ports, so it would pick up my Arduino and it would show a comm on the Arduino, but I could not get it to connect to easel or Universal G-code or anything.
Oh man!
Out my USB ports. I would either need to buy a external USB hub with its own power, or I just recently put out my other desktop out there. See if that's gonna.
Tommy, can I ask a question? Being somebody that hadn't gotten one yet,
Yeah.
What can you explain to the audience and me what Arduino is?
The Arduino is what communicates with the computer.
It's like a little
computer
computer.
will tell the Arduino what it wants it to do. The Arduino will tell the garble board that connects to the Arduino on top, and then that from there it'll go to your stepper motors.
Sure.
Oh, when you guys, if you guys get one, watch how you orientate those limit switches. I had mine upside down. Of course, they don't tell you to put the those little stops, you know, those bolts, Tommy?
Yeah.
Well, I had my switches down below, so those bolts are what hits that little stopper switch.
Yeah.
So I, instead of tearing it all apart, I got it off the best I can, and then I super glued it on into place.
I wish we had thought ahead enough to get pictures for examples like this, because I think some of us are visual learners. So I mean, I wish.
Well, I took a lot of pictures, so when I have my video up, you watch it. I'll show you what I did. And,
so we don't need to turn our computers upside down to see what was upside down.
Right. It'll be right.
Okay.
Yeah, not only that, but you got to watch how you put your on the where's the y-axis maker slides. Make sure those are right side up too, because when you go to put on your limit switch, I ended up having to put mine upside down to hit the switch.
The maker slides.
Yeah, the maker slides are what the V-rollers are rolling on.
Oh yeah.
The rails.
I didn't have a problem with that, thank God. Only thing I had problems with is the limit switches and getting those pins in that black board. And getting that black board to stay on the pins that you soldered to the Arduino.
Yeah.
Because they keep wanting to slide off. And I'm like, get on there. And they say those pins are supposed to click in that black plastic piece. I never heard any clicks. And I was pushing them up as far as I could because I knew they had to connect to those pins.
Mm-hmm.
But they just want to slide off those pins. And I'm like, man. And I know that I'm not the only one, because there's a guy in the UK, I just got done watching his video. He's got the same problems. And what he did was he got a header block from another company with 8 pins, connected that to it, and then I guess he soldered on some wires to that and put heat shrink tubing on the top of it.
So is your wires slipping out of that black connector? Is that what you're saying? Or
no, I got
pins?
my wires to stay. I
okay.
jammed them in there pretty good, but the whole connector block that goes on the pins that are bent like this, I slide it on, and then they just kind of like slide off. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, I had to zip tie all my wires together to where it would hold it still, and because I kind of put my Arduino and garble that whole enclosure backwards to where my steppers are coming out the front and the actual pins are coming out the back side, so it loops around, and then I zip tied it to where it stay right in there. So I don't
know why they didn't have like the screw-on clamp deal for those.
Yeah, they should have had the Phoenix plugs for those too.
Just like
they did for the stepper motors.
Yeah, so I don't. But anyway, I'm just glad that I got it right. And also putting that G-shield on that other board. The G-shield comes off to the side a little bit towards the front. The other one goes towards the back. So you got to kind of like tilt it, line it up, push it down. And it snapped into place. No problem there.
So it's not just a drop down. You got to do it from an angle then.
I suggest you using a flashlight when you go to do that part.
Okay.
Yeah,
because
it's really hard to see to line it up, because the enclosure is so small and so tight around those boards that you can't really even see if it's lined up or not.
Now, Brian, do you have the biggest one they're offering?
Oh yeah.
Okay, what kind of footprint does that take up? How big of a surface area do you need for this?
I did a 4 foot by 4 foot.
Okay, because I
and it leaves you with about 3 or 4 inches all the way around the XCARVE.
Okay, because I just recently acquired some tables from Pizza Hut that was closing down. I think that's gonna be the perfect size.
Yeah,
Right?
I think the minimum that you can get away with is 42 inches. I think that's what
Yeah.
I told you, Brian, right?
Yeah. I got enough room on there to where I could scoot it to the back corner, and then I could set my power supply right in front of it. That's about how much room I have.
So that's 42 by 42 is the minimum size you can get.
Yeah.
If you're
Okay.
getting a larger.
When I do my video, I'll do some measurements on that and tell you what you get, what kind of area you're looking at. Because I know that was one of the questions that I had, and Tommy helped me, and then Steve Carmichael said he did a 4 foot by 4 foot. So I figured that, and then I figured I wanted my desk attached. So I did it similar to Tommy's, but not exactly quite like his.
Is the XCARVE set up to attach to the surface you have it on?
No.
Oh, you don't screw it down.
Okay, damn. I mean, darn, sorry.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could get some double stick tape.
Well, yeah, I didn't figure it jiggled or anything. I just thought it'd be cool to be able to, if I have a table.
Oh, it's not going
to.
That thing's pretty heavy. It'll stay right.
I think Steve Carmichael tied his down somehow because he's got that flip top. And
yeah, he got it clamped down with some wood blocks.
Yeah, because Bob Plaggett also, I believe. I haven't watched the video yet, but he has a. So I'm wondering how I need to go back and watch this video, see how they secured them down. I'm not worried about it vibrating off or anything. I just, any tool that sits on a surface, if that's the only place it's ever going to be, then I'd like to be able to secure it down just for the heck of it.
Yeah, the only way I think you could do is if you, oh no.
I don't see why you couldn't do the extrusion. Get the clips for the extrusion and then bolt it in from underneath.
Yeah, there you go.
By golly.
You could do that, I guess.
I think at least the ones on this panel, I think.
The kind of like those corner clamps that you put the frame together, just put it on the side and then screw it down.
That makes sense.
You can do that too.
Yeah.
I think what a lot of people that haven't messed with it yet are talking about doing first is signs. I think we would all love to do our logo and put it up behind us, kind of thing. That's what I'm doing first.
There's Christopher.
The bad Chris.
Nice. Don't got no audio.
Your audio is very low, Chris.
It's really low. Well, at least you don't sound like some chipmunk.
Yeah, when I first came in here, Brian was on chipmunk mode. Thank God he didn't start the show that way.
It must be this computer or something. I don't know.
I don't know, but it sure is a hoot when you ain't expecting it. What was he holding up?
An Inventables sticker.
Yeah, he made a sticker.
Oh. Yeah, I haven't seen all these people with Inventables t-shirts and stickers. Wondering if that came with the thing or if you.
I'm supposed to get some stickers and a banner, but they haven't showed up.
Cool.
Yeah, I got them separate from the XCARVE. They actually sent me t-shirts and stickers before I even got my XCARVE.
Wow.
Yeah, he's pimping out that Inventables, boy.
Let's say if it works for me, I'll be their pimp, by God.
Well,
go ahead.
When I had pre-ordered the XCARVE, because I pre-ordered it like 3 weeks in advance, not realizing it wasn't even out yet. I thought it just came out, but then I was like, oh man, that's disappointing. I thought it was already out. So then Zach Kaplan, the CEO, emailed me, hey, is there a problem? You know, if you want a refund? Like, no, that's not it at all. I still want it. I just thought it was out already. I was like, all right, well, we're going to send you some t-shirts and some stickers. I was like, sweet.
There you go.
Awesome.
So then I asked him if he wanted to send me some extra ones because I did a giveaway 2 months ago. So So he sent me some, and I gave some of those away too.
So Tommy,
Okay.
how long have you had your XCARVE?
I got mine the second week it came out, so it was in May.
And have you used it more? Is it like in addition to your projects that you build, or is it more just like you're building total projects just with the XCARVE, or is it more to like accentuate what the other tools you have?
It's kind of both. I'm using it a little bit to kind of save time on cutting some pieces that I was doing with the table saw before or the bandsaw. But I'm also using it strictly for like XCarve stuff, carving out signs and stuff like that that I haven't really done before now.
I think we all need to reassure our viewers of our individual channels, because I think a lot of our viewers might get scared that we're gonna, because there is that debate out there about if CNC is woodworking, but I feel we need to reassure our viewers that we're not going to stop doing what we've been doing. We're just going to
Heck,
do it.
I can't wait to get in the smaller section of my shop and do some turning.
Oh yeah, and
I've been itching to turn something, man.
I'm still very passionate about scroll sawing, but I am very interested in trying the X-Carve. But what I wanted to ask y'all, since, or at least Tommy, since he has one, is this thing designed strictly for carving into, or can it cut completely through like 3/16?
It'll cut through.
It'll cut through.
I know it can.
Cut out parts.
I mean, I know it can cut through, but how do you cut it out without it messing up? It's hard to explain.
It puts tabs in there. It'll hold your piece.
Yeah, when they talk about these tabs, how do you get rid of those tabs once you're done cutting? Just break them off?
Just take a chisel.
Yeah,
Okay.
a chisel or a
scroll saw.
A scroll saw.
Or a scroll saw, yeah.
A Japanese saw, whatever, just break it loose. I've gotten mine down so thin where I can actually push my parts out, so.
Okay, good. That's very important to me. Thank you.
Okay, Christopher, you got any sound? I noticed you're muted.
How do I sound? A little bit better?
Yeah, you got it.
All right, well, then I'm sorry, everybody. Now you got to hear my voice.
I think David was muting.
Get yours yet?
Well, what I got is I got the
Wasteboard grills.
The base and the brackets. I built my fold-down table from Steve Carmichael.
Right.
And I was shooting a video on how to hold that down because I got blocks around it that I could slide it over so that when I fold it upright, it's not going to hit the floor like a prom dress, So
that's what we were asking. Is how are you holding it down?
I just put blocks that were the height of the X-Carve, which is 1.5 inches, whatever it is, and then I just took a little tear-shaped slider and I slid it over, and I made that out of oak, so it's on there stable. And I got the blocks to it, so basically it's just little tabs that slide over. And I do 2 in the back and I do 2 in the front, and I held it upright, and it's up there now.
I'd be interested in seeing that if you'll show me after the show. I'd love to see a picture of how you did that.
As a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do is because I do a lot of these hold downs for tools that I mount on the wall, and I said, because again, like you said, all my viewers are going to think, oh, now he's an X-Carve guy and that's all he's going to do. But so I'm trying to shoot my videos saying, hey, look, you can do this with any tool. If you want to mount it on the wall, this is my technique. You can do it whatever way you want. But and it just happened to be that I'm doing one for the X-Carve now, and so that's kind of what my video was going to be, was just a quick one on how I make these hold-down brackets. And,
yeah. I don't think it's going to take away from woodworking. I mean, heck, you got a jigsaw that's handheld, which replaces the fret saw, or the what's the other saw? It's like a fret saw, but what's it called?
Coping saw.
Coping.
Yeah, coping saw. Okay, you got a jigsaw to replace that. And then you got a scroll saw to replace the jigsaw.
Yeah.
It's just upgrading tools. I say an XCARVE or a CNC machine or 3D carver, however you want to word it, is just another form of improvement on tools.
Yeah, and I think, and I don't even know if I want to call it a debate because I think so many people are coming into the CNC now, but there is still a debate as to whether or not it's woodworking. But number one, if you incorporate it with other style of woodworking, that's one angle, but then you stop and think. They used to have, I think, I can't remember the terminology they used for it, the little hand crank drills. They went from that to power drills. It's just another step in the rung.
Right.
You don't have to dedicate the whole project to that. So
Yeah, I mean, you're still working with wood, so I mean, it's woodworking. I mean,
yeah.
When people work with metalworking, and use CNC mills, it's still metalworking.
And I'd like to point out to anybody, and I'm only speaking for me, I mean, we usually joke about how broke I am, but if you did want to mass produce little bitty things like a keychain or something, yes, you could use this for that. It takes the passion out of scroll sawing or whatever, but if you're looking for that income, I think it can't help that.
Well, I'm from the generation in which it was the beginning of you're not a true artist because you make your art on a computer. That's not real art. And when did that change? All of a sudden now there's graphic designers are making, six figures. So, it was sort of like, oh, you cheat because you just make a circle and a square on a computer. That ain't art. Well, it's, for me, I think all woodworking is, woodworkers are artists in some sense, whether it's a box or a staircase or it's, a scroll saw thing. So
Just another tool.
Yeah, I mean, if I get the new kind of paintbrush and I painted something and you're looking at, oh wow, look at that. Did you use that new? What kind of paintbrush did you use?
Yeah, we used to use a feather.
Look at the end product, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, in my day we used the feather. Boy, you cheating. You cheating with that paintbrush.
If you ain't hand painting, then
Yeah, heck, I can't wait to get working on that thing.
Me too. Brian, this is totally off topic, but do you have a peephole near you or something? Because there's a little circle of light on your cheek that's been following you. It's on your left cheek, I believe.
Sniper, sniper, sniper!
Did it go away?
Well, I don't know. I'm not on your picture anymore. I know that was totally off topic. Yeah, it's gone for now.
Yeah, I got a hole in my curtain, and the sun's coming in. See?
Oh, okay. And Chris, I'm sorry I keep muting you. You have a slight echo. It kind of makes it hard to hear. Sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Brian, sir. Alrighty, so I'm going to pretend I'm hosting. Yeah, so till Brian comes back. Hi, Brian.
I got a question for everybody. Who does anything with vectors? Because I've been working with vectors for years, and I also create scroll saw patterns and things like that, like Charles does. And it seems as though I've got this massive library of vectors that I've been creating that I can easily just simply bring over to the XCARVE and start making that stuff. Anybody who has experience with using the vectors that they've created on their computer?
I'm going to no offense. I'm going to mute you while I answer this because I can't think what the echo.
I know, that's annoying.
I deal with vectors, but I know that not all vectors are in SVG format. I believe that's what the XCARVE uses. I could be misinformed, but is there a program out there that converts a vector image specifically to SVG?
There is Photoshop Illustrator. I mean, not Photoshop. Adobe Illustrator will transfer it to SVG.
Okay.
I use Corel Draw. Same thing. Corel Draw does the same thing. Everything's in SVG for me because it works on the Cricut machine too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know easel you have to use SVG, but for VCarve Pro, you can actually just take a JPEG photo and it'll transfer it to a vector for you.
Awesome. I need to get that program.
Yeah, I've been using SketchUp.
And VCarve will create the G code right there in the program, so you won't need to have it in SVG. You can use pretty much any file.
Yeah, I know Jay Bates was, and don't quote me on this because it's been a while since I've seen the video. Jay Bates has oh God, I shouldn't have even brought it up because I can't remember any of the specifics, but he has a video out there about how he does it in SketchUp and then he brings it into this, I think it's a a website based
Yeah, it's MakerCam.
maker
Yeah,
cam.
Maker Cam.
Yeah, and that does all the G-code crap, and you can set the toolpath how you want it, how you
Yeah,
feel
and then
it.
you send it to Universal G-Code Sender.
Yeah.
By the way, Tommy, have you used that yet on your XCARVE?
What's that?
The Universal G-Code Sender?
Yeah, that's what I primarily use. I've been trying to do a little bit on easel. It just seems a lot more difficult than using VCarve Pro with USG or
Do
UG.
I have to do anything special to get that to run? Because I only played with it before I got the machine.
For
Now that I got
Universal
the machine.
G-Code, I would download the latest version, which is 1.0.8. The 1.0.7 has a lot of issues. I couldn't even get it to run. But the 8, the latest version, all you got to do, it should automatically pick up your Arduino. You just open it and then go to the controls tab and hit the X money sign to unlock your Arduino, and then you should have control of it.
Well, in defense of Inventables, I do know that they are very open to feedback, and there is a free. The easel is a free web-based program, and they are constantly working on it to make things better. But I mean,
and
yeah,
I'm one of the beta testers, and we've been testing out the vector transfer where you can upload a JPEG and it'll transfer into vectors for you, and then it'll import it.
Yeah, I signed up for that, but they haven't approved it yet.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I mean,
And they've also got another one they're working on for making gears. So they've got some programs going out there. That should be there soon.
For anybody like me that hasn't gotten there yet and want to learn about the company and what all they offer, Mike Fulton, MF Woodshop, he has an excellent video. If you got a little bit of time to sit down, he has a short version and a long version. I watched the hour-long version.
I watched the long one.
Yeah, he interviews the people at Inventables, and it shows the stuff, and it's neat seeing it. And then another thing they had was called a Carver or something like that, and that's a neat little setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, Inventables is an awesome company, man. I've had no issues with them. In fact, when I did cut my belch too short, I just went on there. I figured it's my fault. I'll just go buy them. It was going to be like $20. Well, a guy emailed me and kind of acquired why I was ordering belts, so I told him the whole story, and they actually refunded my money without me even having to ask. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
It sounds like I'm sucking up because, I was saying I wanted to be their pimp, but I mean, they have gone above and beyond just in the communication aspect. They don't assume, they follow up, all kinds of stuff. They don't just do it as a company to fill out a little, cookie cutter business. They truly do care how their products are.
Yeah, and the CEO cares. I mean, he's messaging you all the time. He's on the forums all the time, making sure people are getting through the builds and through any problems, and he answers a bunch of questions. I mean, you'll see him all over the forums on there.
Only thing I don't like is because I had a question and I wanted to get it resolved. They're not open until Monday.
Yeah, they're closed on Saturday and Sunday and all holidays.
So after I got off the phone with them, I sat there and I was looking at it and I was like, I bet you 10 to 1 it's something to do with that G-Shield. So I went in there and it wasn't seated, and I got it in there and seated it down, and everything started working. And I was like, praise Jesus.
Okay, so we at least know they're human and they take weekends off. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And not only, the only other thing I can't really say that I have an issue with, but where they have room to improve is their support system. I mean, you can call them, which if I'm working on something, I don't like to be on a phone trying to mess with stuff, or you can email them. But I brought up to Zach if he ever thought about how some of the websites, you can
live chat,
live chat, IM, whatever. So he was going to bring that up and see if they can get that on there too.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be sweet.
Real-time help, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just love it because everybody, well, not everybody shares their projects, but a lot of them do, and you could just go in there and just download what you want to make. I mean,
that was a very good point, Brian, because that's just like the overall woodworking community. It's a family, and these people do share.
Yeah.
Chris, go ahead. Sorry, Brian. It's
yeah,
your
go
show.
ahead, Chris.
I'm so used to hosting. I'm
I'm
sorry.
trying to get rid of that echo. I don't know if that echoes any better. I just turned the volume down a little bit. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear
Well,
you.
we
but
can hear you fine.
the only
And
way
we're
we
not
test-
got no echo.
Yeah, we got. Sorry, Brian. I'm so used to hosting. I'm so sorry.
Hey, you'll have your chance in a couple hours.
I am so sorry.
So, Brian, do you care to explain that a little better, what you were just saying about the projects? There's I guess, a site or on their forums or something, there's projects that other people have done. And
Right.
you can basically, it's just like open source. You can just go in and you know,
Go in
download
and
somebody else's
download.
project. And
Yeah, it's inventables.com, and up at the top you'll have an option to click on forums. I think you have to register, but
No,
aside from that.
it's not forums. It's
in the
under.
projects.
It's under projects.
Well, I meant as far as the discussion about it, because he was, never mind, I'll just shut up, because I'm screwing everything up I talk about.
Hey, you're kind of both right, because in the forums there's a project area also where a lot of people just download.
Oh
files.
yeah, but I mean, if
But
you want to get down and dirty and just download some files, just go over to the projects area.
Yeah, in the projects area, you can download it into easel only. It's like an easel project where you can just download it into easel. So
okay.
all their easel files.
I saw one project on there, a guy had carved an eagle, and I wondered if he had that Aspire program. I wish that was a free program. I know that's asking a lot because it's over $1,000. But these 3D things you can do with this thing, I'm so bloody excited at the possibilities.
Well, my buddy David Gatton, he sent me a file for my insert plate for my table saw, because he bought the same saw that I got, and only problem is he did it under 1/4-inch bit, which I only have an 1/8-inch bit. But I noticed you can upgrade your collet to a 1/4-inch and buy a 1/4-inch bit. So that file's going to come in handy, and he did that under some kind of VCAD program.
Probably
Or something.
VCarve Pro, because I know he uses a lot of VCarve Pro. That's
Yeah.
That's his main program.
But if you load it into MakerCam, it's right there, and you can do any adjustments to it, and then you can send it to your Universal G-code sender, or else you can make the file and send it to easel.
That's one concern I have, as having never used it before, is a lot of my, I do primarily scroll saw designs, but a lot of my designs have very, very fine line details, and I'm wondering, how do I figure out when to use that fine line? I mean, do I start out with that fine line one and do the outline?
Well, right now it's under, what do you call it? You just said it, Tommy. It's like, I hate it when I get word tongue tongue-tied. It's in the developmental stages where you can pause it, go ahead, change your bit, change the bit size, and then it'll cut your more detailed cuts.
I'm wondering if that's the biggest learning curve I'm going to have to deal with, is do I start out with that smallest bit and then work my way up, or do I...
Right now...
If you're hogging out a bunch of material, I would do a rough pass first and then switch bits and do your final details. If it's something small, then you can...
Well, how do I keep... Okay, it's hard to explain, but let's say I have a silhouette of a tree, like on my logo. I'll have to show that just for the viewers. Okay, let's say I want to do that tree right there. Now, obviously, the ends of those are going to be little pointy things. So how do I keep the bit from going all the way out to that point if it's too big for that point?
I know in VCarve Pro, which is what I use if I want to do bit changes, it detects what it can fit into, if that makes sense.
Okay, so it detects that.
Yeah, you'll set your bit to whatever size, and if your picture has smaller area than that bit size, then it will detect that and it won't go in that area.
Okay, that's very good to know. Very good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, you might have to run it in two different
Different
assets.
stages. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
what I do for bit changes in XCARVE Pro, I don't know how I would do it in Easel yet, but in XCARVE Pro, I just save different G-code files, and I'll name one my rough pass, and one my detail pass or my final pass, and then
right.
I just run them back to back.
That's very good to know. I'm glad I asked that question.
Yeah, they're working on it. They're getting to the point where you can go in and pause your work and then tell it you're doing a different bit change, you know, and then hit start and it'll go to the new bit. Whatever.
Yeah,
I saw that
process.
in the forum, so that's the only reason I know.
Definitely going to be a learning process, but I think it'll be a fun learning process. I just, I don't
I say there's a lot to learn, but you know, with that easel program, that's pretty easy. They made it really easy for you, as far as the controls go, and just loading up a picture, and
just the transition from going from a project to G-code and sending it to your machine has made it way easier than any other program.
Yeah.
Okay, what's Christopher showing?
He's muted.
He's muted.
Well, I think it was just. I think that's the XCARVE Pro website. I wasn't aware of it. I was just looking at it to verify that's who it was. By Vectric.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned it a few times, so I'm figuring I better keep that aside because I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, Vectric is also the maker of that Aspire program. That's over $1,000. And God, I wish Inventables would do a good giveaway that only I qualify for.
Yeah, Vectric made the XCARVE Pro as a 2.5D, and they made the Aspire as a 3D, I believe, is how it works with them.
Yeah, I wish we could do like sculptures. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, exactly. That's how. Oh man, there's.
With ArtCam, you can do a lot of 3D stuff too.
Sweet.
I still got to get used to that program though.
Now I'm not gonna lie, my viewers may be disappointed. I did mess up the syllables on that. My viewers will be disappointed at some point because if I like the way this machine goes, I'm gonna use it a lot, but I still want to incorporate. But man, the possibilities I've seen this thing do, I just cannot wait to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what even, you know, all the creative woodworkers out there, you know, the people we follow, you know, I think we're just barely scratching the surface on what this thing will do and what it'll, you know, even add to other projects. Just because, you know, people, you know, like Tommy said, Tommy's only had it a couple of months. He's still getting used to it. You know, once you're a year or two into this thing and know its full potential, you know, there's going to be, I think it's going to spit out some amazing projects. And that's kind of why I'm wanting to try to get one soon so I can get in here before everybody's made everything under the sun.
Yeah, absolutely. When we were having the quote-unquote debate about CNCs, Karol Kolonowski, KK Make, he brought up a very good point. Yes, the computer does some of the work, blah, 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 but you still have to create what goes into that computer to go to it. So, you know, there is still some creativeness behind it and artistic ability.
I'm still waiting to see what Izzy can do with his, man.
Oh, hell. Nothing we can match, I'll tell you.
That guy, he'll build a CNC with the CNC. I mean, it's...
Yeah. Yep, and power it with a drill.
Yeah.
Instead of stepper motors, it's drill motors.
Yeah, for those that don't follow him on Facebook, he's that little walker machine he's working on. He's gonna convert it into a Tyrannosaurus Rex, man. But he just, right when you think he's topped himself, he goes above and beyond. It's just.
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram. He started that already.
I wonder what he made that for.
I think just he
Proof of concept.
Yeah, proof of concept. He credited the guy he got the basics from on the Walker thing, and don't quote me exact, but he quoted somebody the credit he got the idea from, and then he elaborated from there. But I know I've heard that he reads a lot of engineering books, and so if you know the premise of how things work, then I think that's where it starts. I'm guessing. You'd have to talk to Izzy to find that out, but
I think he just did it because it's out there crazy.
yeah, he's definitely a creative feller. The one time go ahead, Brian.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that you were muted, so I was trying to think. Here I was accidentally taking over earlier, and then you got quiet. I'm thinking, what the hell do I say to cover dead air? And I couldn't think of nothing. You came on. Thank God. Go ahead.
Well, today's a messed up show as it is because we're supposed to be doing cutting boards, and here we're talking X-Carve.
We all got a 0 on that project except for Shannon Wayne Fargo. But he's getting a demerit for not showing up.
He just got done writing me, telling me that his video's up on it. So I'll have to check that out.
Cool.
I told him what we're doing. I said nobody got their boards done. Oh, well.
My truck decided it was going to be mean this week, so I haven't had a chance to do anything fun.
I tell you what, it's been raining here nonstop, except for today. But I was out there, lightning going on. I was afraid it's going to fry my computer. I was like,
if you're surrounded by a metal shell, the rain will be really loud, so it'd make the show pretty hard.
It kind of felt like God poured a bucket of water over my shed.
Yeah, honestly, this past week I've been trying to bust my butt trying to get that table done, or the workstation. I don't know how many people follow my Facebook, but let's see if I can screen share what I've got.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I love how you did that.
That is cool, man. That is awesome. There's a sign.
Present to everyone. Yeah, I love that.
That is too cool.
That is nice.
Well, that is a huge machine. Wow, that is huge.
Did your XCARVE logo come on the rail there, or did you have to put it on there?
No, mine came with it on there.
Well, they gave me a sticker to put on mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know since I've gotten mine, they've gone through 2 or 3 different versions, so there might be some different stuff on the ones coming out now. So
I was like, man, I like the one that was on the rails that you guys have. Go back to that. I want to see that again.
Which one?
The one you were showing earlier.
The front view, I believe, of everything.
Yeah.
Right there, I believe.
Yeah. I like how you did your wiring, man.
Yeah, I've got a video out on that. If you guys haven't seen it, you can go check it out.
Where do you keep your power supply at? Is it behind it, or?
Yeah, it's, I don't know, can you guys see my cursor too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's right back in here, behind, right against the wall on this side.
See, I wanted to have my wiring done on the other side.
Yeah.
But it wasn't going to work out with the way they got the X plate, the X carriage, whatever.
Yeah.
You know how you have the drag chain on that one side?
Yep.
This G thing y'all were talking about, is that showing in the picture?
No, it's
Okay.
No, but
it's
I might
attached
have
to
a
the
picture
power
of it.
supply.
Okay, because
Tommy, that picture. Tommy, the picture on the left, is that the power supply? You barely see the very edge of a picture on the left. Is that?
Yeah, that's the power
That's the
supply.
Okay.
And the G shield is, here's the fan.
Right underneath the
Shield is
fan.
gonna
There.
be right in this enclosure where all these wires are going into. That'll be your G shield.
Okay.
That sits on top of the Arduino. But yeah, eventually I'm gonna have a panel that's inset into this table, and then I'll just hook it up from the outside, and everything, the power supply and everything, will be underneath. So
Hey, I got a question for you, Tommy.
yeah.
Now the spindle control, do you do it manually?
No, mine's set to automatic, and that's going to be another project. Oh, you guys can see my DeWalt here.
How do you do it automatic?
In automatic, you have to,
Flip that switch down?
You know the pins where the limit switches are? There's a spindle control back there, and you have to hook those up to the Phoenix plug, the plug, let me see, to this plug right here.
Yeah, I got that all hooked up.
The small plug. There's a 4-pin plug and then a 2-pin plug.
Yeah, the yellow and black wire.
Yeah, that's your spindle control. Now when you go into easel,
right,
it'll say set up your spindle automatic or manual.
Right, I did that, automatic. And it didn't work.
And then did you click spindle on and clicked it on?
I believe so.
What is the advantage of going manual over automatic? I mean,
well, automatic, you just have the computer tell it to turn it on.
Well, I know. I mean, but manual, what would be the benefit of going manual?
No, I can't think of any benefit of going manual.
Okay, I was only asking because both were brought up, but okay. So automatic's a good thing. That's probably what I'd go with. And Tommy, I know I'm not the host of the show, but you were talking about that DeWalt 611 in place of the spindle that comes with the XCARVE, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Now this, you have to set it up differently if you want spindle control. I'm going to have to wire up a relay, and I'll be doing a video on all of that stuff. But I'll have to do a relay where I hook the pot of the router into one side, and then I'll have to do the spindle power to the other side of the relay.
Yeah, you got a video coming up on that automatic control?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do that.
When are you going to have that up? That's one thing that I want to know.
If you want me to post up a video of just how the stock spindle and automatic, I can have it probably this week.
Okay. Yeah,
but the DeWalt thing probably won't be for another.
No, I don't. Well, I want to watch it, but that's not my top priority.
Tommy, can you repeat your YouTube channel name?
Tommy G Workshop.
Okay.
Yeah, Tommy G Workshop.
So I got a lot of videos to watch.
But yeah, I love all that detail you put in on the trim there.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then I still got to do the drawer fronts, which will have more carving. Like this top drawer, I'm going to have all the tools for it, and I'll probably carve in tools or X-Carve tools, and then this will have spare parts. It'll probably be marked spare parts.
How much did you pay for all that?
For
just
the materials?
Yeah.
Man, it's been a while now, so maybe $160.
Yeah. Yeah, I went with 2x4 frame and then 3/4 inch top. And I spent $100 just doing that.
Yeah.
Tommy?
Yes.
Did you use just regular 550 paracord when you covered the wiring, or did you use a bigger one?
I have two different sizes. I have the smaller one.
You just bought straight paracord, like the 550 paracord?
Yeah. Yeah, I know one was 550. I don't remember what the other size was, though.
Yeah, there was another one that's a little smaller, but...
Yeah, yeah.
Because it seems bigger, but I guess it stretches out quite a bit anyway, so...
Yeah, I was looking at that. Wasn't it 5/8 inch?
That's that 550. Once you pull the inner strands out, you got lots of room. I'm going to do that, my same thing that you did. I like that tip, and I think it was nice, and the way to do it is to do it before you build, so you're not going to go back and take it all apart to do that. So it was a really good tip, because I've already got the paracord ready to go, so that when I'm building it, I can just make it all look nice.
Where do you get that paracord? Is that through Inventables?
Walmart. You can get it at Michael's. You can get it at any craft shop. You can go online, get any color in the world you can imagine.
So this is like a hollow tube to feed the wires through?
Yeah, you can get this at Lowe's or Home Depot or I mean any big box store pretty much. I got mine at Osh because that's the closest to my house. But
Yeah, I've heard of heat shrink tubing, but I hadn't heard of paracord wrap. I think that's kind of cool.
It's a great idea. It's a good tip.
Absolutely.
I got the idea because I did the same thing because I've built my computers too. I did the same thing with my wiring on my computers.
Awesome.
That's nice.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, I find that getting ready to build this thing, what I'm finding is that I watch the videos that Inventables put up, and I read all of the instructions, and then I go online and I see whatever people's tips and tricks are, and maybe a different way they did something. And between what's written, the video, and the tips and tricks, problems that people have, it seems as though it's like running an old operating system on a computer. Pretty much whatever problem you got, somebody else has had it, and there's an answer for it. So it doesn't sound like there's going to be too many things that, hey, you're the first person in the world to ever have this problem. So there'll always seem to be some type of an answer or a way of getting a solution. That's the good thing.
Another thing that I like about this, and us woodworkers having it, is we're all so close, and if we got problems, we can, lean on each other.
Yeah.
It's a real pain in the butt when you are the person with the first problem. Cause, because that port problem that I was telling you about, man, I spent, I don't know, 2.5 weeks just troubleshooting every day. Just
look at this way, Tommy.
Now you're the expert.
Your problems are our solutions.
Lean on me if you have problems with your X-Carve.
Karaoke with Charlie. Sorry.
I love it, though. You got an awesome workstation, brother.
Yeah, that's nice, Tommy. It's a nice setup.
Yeah, now we've all seen it. Now we all got to try to top it.
Have an enclosure. Have it hydraulic come down.
LEDs, strobe lights.
Dance floor, whatever.
Yeah. The whole dance floor thing, but you don't want to see me try to dance. Me dancing looks like an epileptic attack,
But you know what? I am glad that once I got everything figured out and I went in there to do a test, everything worked. And I was really thankful for that because I was tired. I was so tired this morning. I was like, I'm so close. I could just feel it, right there because it says, next step, get to carving. And I was like, I need to get through this step. Now work.
but it won't come on. What's up? If you plug it in.
But once I got everything configured right, I did my test, and you seen that thing? I was like, yeah!
All I had to do was plug it in. I didn't know that.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw your video on, I think it was Facebook that I saw your video when you got it running, I could picture you in the background dancing.
Doing it.
All happy.
I got a question, Tommy, going back to kind of something that was mentioned earlier about, was talking about storms and lightning. Your shop set up there with your computer and XCARVE, do you have any kind of surge protection or where they're plugged in? Or?
I got mine on a surge protector.
Yeah, I have a surge protector. I don't know if you noticed that my computer's sitting underneath. Well, let me bring
Yeah, it's in that corner there. When I leave my shop, I unplug my computer, I unplug the Ethernet cable, and I'll be unplugging my X-Carve.
My computer's down here, and right next to it, I've got a surge protector, and then it comes up and plugs into the wall.
Oh, okay. Because I know that's, if you're just maybe new to this and thinking, well, I'm just going to grab me an X-Carve, get it set up, and plug it into the wall and take off, people may overlook the need for surge protection because, I don't know how a lot of people, you just assume that, you don't have to have that in the shop with your other power tools. But
yeah, it's more for the computer. I mean, anytime you've got a computer hooked up, you want to have that protection.
Well, not only that X-Carve's like a computer.
Yeah, the board.
Yeah, servo motors.
For clarification, the XCARVE does not come with any kind of dust collection, correct? You need to be right up with it with a vacuum, getting the stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
And I got a few tricks up my sleeve.
Yeah, because if I'm thinking about having mine in the same room with my computer, so it has its own area. But yeah, you definitely got to keep control of that dust, or you'll screw up your computer too.
I use
Yeah, and if you
Michael's
look on
idea,
the
and I bought a CPAP hose. It's perfect. It's
Yeah, I got plenty of
like
those.
$6
Thanks
for a
to
CPAP
Steve.
hose, and I'm going to just attach it right to that.
Steve's showing us how to use a CPAP hose. I was like, yeah, I got a few of those. And then I'm going to get me a saw stash from FastCap. And then I'm going to wrap the bottom so it traps all that dust inside that stash, and then that vacuum will just suck it right up.
Oh, the stash being like the bristle brush thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got they call them dust shoes. They've got them all over the
Yeah.
forums, files for them and stuff. So
Cool.
you can build the dust collection around them.
Yeah, you could just download one of their patterns that they made,
Hey.
cut it out, get you a little dust shroud, put it on there.
I don't know.
Well-
You might want to, if you're gonna have it inside, you might want to put an enclosure on it.
Well,
That's
my
not a bad
my
idea.
computer happens to be about 10 or 12 feet from where my XCARVE is, and I'm not sure whether I can just run myself a 10-foot long USB cable, or whether I should move the computer closer to the XCARVE. I think, all in all, if it's only 10 feet, I've got a 15-foot USB extension. I don't see any reason why I can't. But any ideas of running a really long USB cord from the computer to the XCARVE?
I had for a little while. I had a USB extension,
Yep.
and I'd never had any problems with it. So I don't think it'd be a problem. I mean, it's
Yeah.
hardwired.
I know with video cameras or webcams and printers, long USBs don't work. That's why I'm hoping a long USB will work with the XCARVE.
Oh, yeah, it'll work. I think they go up, I don't know the maximum, but they have a maximum size that they recommend that you don't go past.
Okay.
But
XCARVE does that? They tell you what not to go past?
I think it was on the forum.
Okay, good.
Just get on the forum and start reading a bunch of stuff. You'll learn some stuff. But yeah.
Read stuff and you'll learn stuff, by God.
Well, heck, guys, I guess this will be it for this week. I don't know. What should we talk about next week?
God only knows.
Brand.
How about you, Dave? What do you got on your mind? What do you want to talk about next week?
Next week, I don't know that I'm going to be able to make the show. I've actually got a out-of-town
Okay,
trip.
we're
I
taking
don't know
the
if I'll be
time
back.
off.
Well, Dave can't make it. I ain't coming.
Yeah.
We can talk about Dave.
Dave's not here.
Are you going to be here next week, Tommy?
I cannot. I'm working days for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, brother. How about you, Christopher?
Yeah, if I'm here, sure, what the heck.
Okay. What do you want to talk about?
Branding.
Branding.
Yourself.
Okay. There's a good topic.
Okay, branding cows.
I mean,
Creating a logo, creating a name, branding yourself.
exactly.
Okay, so he doesn't mean like heating it up in a fire and putting a brand on yourself. That'd be stupid.
Hey,
All
Christopher, after the show, I got some questions I have for you. Anyway, we'll talk about branding next week. Catch you later.
Doodles.